U.S. president said that he wants closer relations with Japan to face common threats in the region.
As VOA's Henry Ridgwell reports from Tokyo, the chance of approach has been welcomed in Japan, but overcoming historical mistrusts may prove difficult.
Marking the 77th anniversary Monday of his country's liberation from Japanese rule and the end of World War II, South Korea's president called for better relations with Japan.
이제 세계 시민의 자유를 위협하는 도전에 맞서
Today, Japan is our partner as we face common threats that challenge the freedom of global citizens. When Korea-Japan relations move towards a common future and when the mission of our times align, based on our shared universal values, it will also help us solve the historical problems.
Those historical problems have long weighed on relations between Seoul and Tokyo. The two countries dispute the ownership of islands in the Sea of Japan. South Korea wants greater atonement from Japan for its conduct during colonial rule, including the use of forced sex slaves known as comfort women during World War II. Speaking on the anniversary of his country's surrender in 1945, Japan's Prime Minister said he would uphold Japan's constitutional pledge to never again repeat the horrors of war.
未だ争いが絶えることのない世界にあって
In a world where conflicts are still unabated, Japan, under the banner of proactive pacifism, will do its utmost to work together with the international community to resolve the various challenges facing the world.
Alongside US forces seen here conducting military drills, Japan and South Korea took part in missile intercept exercises off Hawaii earlier this month. It is a tentative step forward, says Japanese defense analyst Kunihiko Miyake.
The tripartite cooperation is not a big problem for us and for them, as long as the Americans are there. But when it comes to bilateral relationship, bilateral whatever activities between South Korea and Japan, probably that could be, that would cause a domestic political problem for them.
Japan and South Korea see common threats in the region, but with different perspectives, says Miyake.
Probably the Americans and South Koreans are in sync with each other as far as the threat from North Korea is imminent. And I agree with that. But the question is, when it comes to China, South Korea doesn't feel as we do. See, we are facing a land power threat from the continent to the waters in our part of the world.
Despite the common threats, analysts say it will be difficult for South Korea and Japan to overcome decades of mistrust. Japanese government ministers were among those visiting Tokyo's controversial Yasukuni Shrine Monday, which honors Japan's war dead, including several convicted war criminals. South Korea urged Japan to show humble reflection on its past.